Second bill here, we are back. For this before and after of The Taxi Driver, directed by Jang Hoon, who did Front Lines. Really enjoyed that film. Also did Rough Cuts. Have heard tons of stuff about it, but have yet to watch it. This stars Kang-ho, and he's just great. I love everything that he's been in, and he's always a blast to watch. So expectations are high. We have Thomas Kretschmann. I don't know who he is, but he plays a German reporter, journalist, based off a real person. I mean, this whole thing takes place in 1980 in Korea during the whole Gwangju Democratization Movement in the 1980. I mean, it just brings up the whole sort of ordinary person vibe again. That happened in 87, this happened in the 80s. So tons of things happened there. So definitely looking forward to, hopefully I'll get a better sense of what's going on. So basically, Taxi Driver is just about like Song being a taxi driver, and he picks up the journalists while this stuff is happening, and they either really like him and want to spread the word type of what's going on, and at the same time there are also some people are like, we don't want a reporter to be in here, we got to get him out, and things go nuts, and the trailer looks pretty intense, so definitely cannot wait. So yeah, this is before and this is after. So wow, what a ride, literally. It's just this incident that happened back in May 18th of 1980 was pretty intense, and just really glad that sort of this movie came to be. And I'm reading up like the reception, and people are like in Korea are going to this like crazy just to really see, and I guess have like a visual reminder of what happened back in 1980 when like just the military dictatorship was just crazy, and a lot of people died, like 500, 600 people died, and it was students, and just the city of Gwangju was just, it's hard stuff to watch. I mean, especially if people were around when it happened or heard it on the news, but I'm totally, this is new info history for me, so it was just like, oh, just taking it in. So yeah, that's the story. In terms of cinematography and narrative, I mean, I think it's sort of like the, Hacksaw Ridge, where near the end there's like a taxi chase scene, and I'm just like, man, did they exaggerate this? They probably did. And I really do want to read up like this taxi driver guy, but I doubt they have much written on him, because I mean, we don't even know who he is. Yes, Sang Song did a pretty good job, and Thomas Kretschmann, I think he was probably the weakest link. We have the main character from Lucky coming in. I'm so bad with names, but yeah, it was just interesting to see how intense it got, and just like the whole Korean sort of brutal gore and stuff came in, and it was just used very well just to showcase just how intense and how crazy it got. And it's just like the story is really impactful. I mean, I think you emotionally it gets you there, and I think you sort of just don't logically think about the cinematography or just the acting. I mean, that doesn't get in the way of anything, but I think it's just hard. It's a hard film to watch, like Silence, where it's just the history is real, and you just gotta watch it and go through it. I mean, sure, comedy was here and there, but not a strong suit, not a very. It's still a political thriller here, and yeah. So I was, I don't know what else to say. I mean, it was some pretty intense. I mean, narrative-wise, it was a tad slower just to set it up whole, like when he gets to the taxi, and then they finally get to the province, and then just to have things fall apart, and then he goes back, and then he figures out life type of thing. And I'm so glad there wasn't the whole movie-esque logic where he finds him at home because he has his address type of thing, because that would just been too much. And yeah, it was just like, man, like RIP for all those people that died during these riots, and just everyone that was affected. Is just, man, just rough stuff. So yeah, so basically I think it's a good genre addition to just political thrillers and just some history of like Korea. And I think the 80s have been so tough for them, and it's just, I mean, that's just coming from me, it doesn't really mean anything, but watching more and more movies dealing with that time line is just like, man, that's some rough governmental stuff. So yeah, Taxi Driver, not what I thought it was being, and just a lot more heavy. I mean, the first half of the movie was sort of like what I expected from the trailer, but the latter half definitely a lot heavier. So yeah, that's it for this before and after of Taxi Driver. Later.